Oh, fuck. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I started the show too early. Todd had me laughing. Hold on. I got to do the music.
Good morning, traders. Welcome to StockCast. My name is Todd Derby, along with business partner co-host James Mason. Good morning, James. How are we doing today?
Todd, good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well. Thanks for asking. No surprise. My backdrop here is about Amazon. Just taking a little credit for who called out the Amazon split. Or actually, we didn't call it out. We told them. Who told them they should do an Amazon split of their stock to make it more valuable to the retail traders and the options players?
I told you that day that when you told everybody it was going to happen, it was going to be suspicious. But I mean,
actually, I saw one news report.
It could come off as insider trading just because you hung out that week at the Playboy Mansion with Jeff Bezos, and he said that to you. I mean,
let me read you this news source I saw. It said, according to Amazon board member who wishes to remain anonymous, said after hearing the StockCast team highly recommend a split of our stock, I agreed with them and felt it was time. Thank you, StockCast.
That's what we do. I mean,
but a boom.
Oh man, you had me laughing pre-market, and I obviously started the show without an intro.
Yeah, there's only 10 or 12 people right at that moment.
So, yeah.
I mean, only the early birds get that high level of entertainment and value.
All right, everybody. So Dow futures are currently down 404 points. S&P 500 is down 51 and a half points, and the SPY has pulled back a little over 5 points, which sets the daily candlesticks up on the SPY in a very weird position. On one side to the downside, they keep trying to prop it up in this range around 420, between 420 and 415. They keep trying to prop it up. And to the upside, well, there's so much daggone resistance because everybody's selling the pops. And Todd, what do we have coming up in a week?
the Fed rate interest hike, as promised, 1 week from today.
So, man, so we saw the other day the whales on the eye. They went bullish, and then yesterday it was obviously bullish. And I don't know. It's like I said, I just feel so conflicted to even begin to look at the market and think bullish, think going long, like in terms of like really trying to crank one out here, not just making a trade. So let me share my chart really quickly.
I share this with you, and I'll share it with our listeners. As long as this war is going on, and as long as we're getting some sideways movement in the market, and we have a Fed rate hike, I don't think there's any way you possibly could be bullish on the market right now. And if you are bullish, if you're out there claiming to be bullish, I'm going to highly suggest that you might be working for someone to promote the market, because it doesn't make sense. And we're going to see a downturn a little bit, and it's okay. It's just knowing what we know, we have to deal with it.
Yeah. So looking at the SPY on the daily chart, this is where we stand. Yesterday, hold on. Let me turn some of this noise off. Actually, let me just get rid of all these lines. All right. So here we are with the SPY daily chart. And I mean, you can see how many times this thing is rolled over and how many times that they have saved it. So technically, right here is where it should have lost control once again. And then what did they do? They gap it up, which was yesterday. Well, then today they gapped it down. And it's like, well, I mean, it's just like it's being pinned in this range until the Fed hike. I mean, we've said this already. I mean, we literally just freaking called the Amazon stock split. And we're going to call this as well. They're pinning it right here until this interest rate increases. And then it's going to go, boom, somewhere down here. I don't know. I mean, this ain't stock advice anyways, but that's just what we feel is going to happen. So if y'all didn't get the sarcastic humor at the Amazon stuff, then
if you didn't get the humor, this might not be the show for you.
Yeah, this probably is not the show for you.
If you don't like Barbie doll talk and catch our humor, you might want to consider a real professional trading channel.
Exactly. If you think I'm too sarcastic and a jerk, well, this channel is probably not for you. But anyways, so here we are. I mean, this is a weird setup on the SPY. And I say it's weird because if you look at the chart, naturally, you would just want to say, short it, go bearish, buy puts. But they keep coming in and trying to save it somewhere in this range. And the last thing you want to do is obviously try to short it and buy puts, and you literally make an entry and then they spunk you by saving the market to prop it up. But when we're now getting to the point where the SPY is gapping multiple dollars like this, that's not good. It makes it extremely hard to not only day trade now, but to swing trade as well. Because there's multiple dollar gaps, like a 5-point gap, in both directions. I mean, that destroys your premiums on your contracts. And once those contracts take that hit, even if it starts to go back down, well, it lost that momentum. It just makes it, that much harder to make more money or to even break even. So the SPY is sitting at this very, very weird range right now at this moment. You can see here is yesterday's candlestick and then the day before, and we're literally right in the middle. And with this right here, I can expect nothing less than to have just a crazy choppy day today. I mean, if it's going to shoot off in a direction, I think if it's going to shoot off in any direction, it's going to be to the bearish side. If it's going to go hard in a certain way, but if it decides to hold up above 419, I believe we're just going to just chop and chop and chop here all day long. And those are the days that even trying to swing trade now, because of how much the SPY is chopping, that even if you're trying to swing trade, man, it just screws up your entries. So this is kind of like what I'm watching out for. Now, I'm not in any position on SPY at the moment. And like I said a moment ago, I feel so conflicted even thinking about going bullish here. So I'm still looking to short SPY, but what I'm going to do is wait for the low of this day, of this candlestick right here. So I'm actually going to wait for it to break below 415 before wanting to make that entry. That way we can break past this range, and we should continue down with that momentum, theoretically. Now, what would suck here is if it makes that move after hours to where I can't get in with the position. And I necessarily don't want to jump into it before I actually see that break below that low if I'm going to take puts. And the reason why is just because, I mean, they're trying to bottom it out, or at least hold it up temporarily. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking right now with SPY, how I'm wanting to approach this. And yesterday I didn't do much of anything yesterday trading wise. Didn't really like any setups overall. Todd, what was that one we were watching live yesterday?
Houston, HUSA.
No, that's the day before. Man, I can't remember. All right, let's see. Let me go through comments real quick. If you guys haven't realized, there still ain't nothing in the news. I mean, yeah, obviously the Amazon split, but hell, everybody already knows that.
To continue your conversation about SPY, with two major macro events pending, you'd be hard pressed to. I mean, I know we're bearish on it, and you talk about maybe taking some puts, but until this war gets a little better direction, I mean, I still think that we haven't seen the worst of it. I keep believing that Russia's going to like roll out their better plan, a better military, and do something more dangerous than they're already doing. And until we get the Fed hike numbers that we keep talking about, it's honestly SPY is a no trade for me.
Pretty much the whole entire damn market is a no trade for me.
Yeah, I mean
it's so hard. Honestly, unless if you're shorting penny stocks that are taking major pops, but we ain't even having that. That's what makes it so bad here.
Right, and I know that's a common thread amongst retail traders. If you follow any trading news out there, that's the beef. Like, why can't we get a couple small cap plays to work with? That's not even available.
Yeah. So for Airhead 70 and also Robert, no, we did pull up SBFM, but we were not thinking about that piece of shit. And for the guy who came in yesterday talking about, there are runners every day. And I mean, there's so many runners out there happening every day. And then he tried to throw up SBFM. Golly, talking about what an epic fail for trying to pump some BS.
Yeah, that ran between 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time and 5:30, and then it just bled to death.
Yeah,
I think it did have a little pop later in the day, but it didn't get back over.
I mean, it came out and pushed up just momentarily and just bled off. I mean,
yeah, that's the problem with some of these small caps. they have the news, and
you
they
couldn't get into this.
right. I mean, you got to be up at 4 a.m., 4:30,
And know it's going to happen.
Right, or catch it on its way up and gamble and make a few cents, but you're not going to make the big move.
No, not at all. All right, S. John, let's take a look at the VIX. Let me back out a second.
Well, I have a TikTok clip I want to play for the group when we get done doing VIX.
We can't. We'll get a strike.
Can I just play the audio?
That's why we'll get a strike.
All right.
Does it have music in it?
No. I can talk about it. It was funny, so that's why I want to talk about it.
Okay, yeah. All right. So VIX is kind of a little challenging to read right now. And I'm saying that just because how they keep trying to bottom the market out. We have these daily candles that are just kind of like grouping right here. And it is looking like a strong resistance. And in my opinion, when we're looking for a top in the VIX, it's always so challenging. And the reason why I say it's so challenging is because you can have the grouping like this. And then after hours, all it takes is the slightest macro event that's bearish. And then the next day, I mean, you would think that the VIX is going to, go down because we see the strong resistance. But then the next day, it's just it gaps up above that resistance and it just takes off running. So let's see. Hold on. Actually, I want to see if I can find an example. I can't really give an example right here, but oh well. All right. So, I mean, the current setup on the VIX, and again, like the VIX, it is kind of hard to predict this unless if it's like riding the bottom right here on its support, to kind of know when the market's going to pull back. But to know when the market is going to start going up, that's hard, just trying to determine it off the VIX. And looking at it overall, I mean, this is shaping up to be a resistance right here. And if this does start to break down, then we will see the market go up. It doesn't make any sense for the market to go up, but I mean, that's what we would see. And like we spoke about in the beginning of the show, I mean, we still have a week until those Fed increases start to happen. And that's where it's going to really be very tricky, in my opinion. I mean, we could start trying to take bullish positions and swing them, but it's like walking on eggshells right now. And while we might jump into a bullish play and start to make some money, the moment that they say anything negative in the market, everybody's just going to lose their mind and it's going to start selling off quickly. And as retail traders, we'll be the last to know. So all the institutions, everybody important, they'll get that news before us. They'll start selling off. By the time they start selling off, we start to see it on the charts, and we're trying to figure out what is going on if we're long. And while we're trying to figure it out, I mean, even if it's just mere minutes, the stock will probably move so hard and down that by the time you go to sell it or you get stopped out, whatever, you might go way beyond your intended ranges. And I say this because, I mean, I've experienced this before. So trying to like top tick the VIX here, even though I feel overall bearish on the market. I mean, it's so hard. Now, if it gaps up above this high right here, then I mean, obvious, we know it's game on. So if it gaps up above or moves up above 39, breaking this high right here, yeah, we know what time it is.
Do you like VIX better than UVXY?
Yes, I do.
Why is that? I'm just curious your thoughts. Why you like VIX better?
Probably just because it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like it's just like the standard one out of all of them for volatility.
Okay.
But I've always looked at the VIX. So I started off looking at the VIX, and that's pretty much what I've always just looked at. So it's a comfort zone for me.
It's funny because I'm the opposite. I've always looked at UVXY, and that's been my wheelhouse where I've just felt more comfortable with it over VIX. That's interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
All right, let me play this audio. It's got no music in it. It's a clip of it's. I'm gonna turn my. Hopefully you guys can hear it. It's a clip of Trump speaking at a Make It Great Again rally. Here we go.
We have more oil than anybody, okay? And
Can't hear it.
An incredible thing that has happened over the last few years. A lot of great things, and you're paying what, $2 a gallon for your gasoline? That's okay. You know what that's like? That's like a tax cut. That's bigger than a tax cut. If Biden got in, you'd be paying $7, $8, $9. Then this to get rid of your car.
Okay, that.
Isn't that awesome?
As bad as that sucks for everybody and it hitting their pockets, it's actually funny. I mean,
it is funny. And the way he's speaking, he's not speaking upright and standing. He's kind of slouching on the podium, going, Biden gets in office, you're gonna pay $7, $8, $9 a gallon. And
lo and behold, I mean, it's happening.
Oh my gosh, I felt like I got bent over the pump twice this week.
Yeah. Steve Lunick, when I looked at your comment about RIO special, I literally in my mind saw REO Speedwagon. I don't know why.
That's funny that you even know who REO Speedwagon is.
It's one of the greatest rock bands ever.
I have a great REO Speedwagon story.
Let's hear it.
When I was in college in at Western Michigan, they came into Kalamazoo to perform a concert, and we had our fraternity closed dance, which is like an annual spring dance, and they were staying in the same hotel that we were doing our event. So I don't know what deal was worked out or who did what or what female got lucky that night, but some of the ladies met some of the REO Speedwagon band, and they came down in the local bar in this hotel, and there was a live band that was in there, and they came down and they offered them their equipment, and they did like a 45-minute set at this local bar, and it was just impromptu, and it was like a really cool. I mean, probably like 50, 80 people in this place, and we're just packed, and we were like 2, 3, 4 feet from them getting pictures, and it was a pretty cool experience. They were like super cool about it. Yeah. And I've loved them. They've always been one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, mine too.
So
all right, well,
we're about 5 minutes from the start of the market.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to summarize today's show, I'm indecisive about the market right now at this point. We talked about the VIX, we talked about the SPY, and there's odd setups. And if I'm going to go bearish, I need to see the break below those recent daily lows for the SPY, or breaking those recent daily highs on the VIX. So, yeah, that's where we stand at the moment. And other than that, that's all I have for today. Todd, do you have anything else?
Other than I just agree with Andrew, riding the storm out should be our opening for the StockCast show every day. I agree.
If it wasn't for like YouTube and their policies, man, we could have some cool stuff. But everybody would have cool stuff then because you could just do all the other cool stuff.
They would steal all the music.
All right, everybody. So appreciate y'all tuning in today. Remember, trade safe, trade smart, and we will catch y'all in the next one.